Expressive aphasia is very common in dementia units, with up to a third of people often affected by it. To redevelop neural pathways to enable speech takes a lot of input, but it can be done to varying degrees, but there needs to be a lot of input in regards to lots of information, intellectual activation, and there needs to be a lot of discipline and will and effort on the part of the dementia resident, and the trainer that's helping, or the activity coordinator, needs to be consistent, diligent and dedicated. But with this effort, especially if the dementia resident has this interest and, burning yearning to want to improve their speech, then they can do so. And in quite a remarkable way, I've witnessed. There was one woman who came into the dementia unit. She was strong and vigorous and not tough in a negative sense, but in a positive sense, actually. She would stand up to anyone, even though she couldn't speak. She'd sort of, be assertive in her mannerisms, and any aggressor would back down. But she was very kind, very helpful. And all she really could say in terms of a sentence structure, but it was a positive sentence and a helpful sentence, was, it's important to be positive. That's it. She'd repeat it all day, every day. It's important to be positive, and that had a big impact. It was like this mantra going on in the dementia unit. And we picked it up, actually, that mantra, and the workshop worked with it. But in terms of expressive aphasia, this woman came to every workshop. She was consistent, she was diligent, she'd apply herself, she'd listen. You could totally see that she understood. She understood everything, but had difficulty expressing it. But actually, I worked with her for about 3 years, year in, year out, month in, month out. She'd always be there. And it was actually when one of the other dementia residents, who was very good with her speech and expressed herself very well and was a former school teacher, started working with this dementia resident. And this is when things started to change. How she started working with her was that she asked her, overheard the conversation. She said to this woman who had expressive aphasia, "Would you like to learn the names of your children?" Because she was forgetting the names of her children. And the woman said, yes, I definitely, you could see she did want to. So this teacher went to the front desk, got the names of her 4 or 5 children written out on a piece of paper, 2 lots, one for her, one for this lady. And all day they'd sit down together at the window in the sunshine, learning the names of this woman's children. And do you know, she did get to learn the names remarkably. She made that much effort. She actually got to know their names, which surprised the children for sure, because she was deteriorating before that. And then, this daughter came back from Australia and said to me, actually, "I think Mum's improving. She can remember my name." So from there, once she got that confidence, the second thing this woman started to do, the one with expressive aphasia, now more expressive with her speech, she started to encourage the new dementia residents that were coming in, the new ones, the ones that had just come in. She started to say to them, now it's important to be positive here, and you can be positive, and everything's positive here. So that was the start of it. And then sort of it magnified and progressed to, well, we're looked after well by the staff, and the food is very good, and it's important to have good food. And on it went. And actually, through her gaining confidence, practicing her speech, having a willing audience, having a dementia resident teach her, former teacher to encourage her, all of these things facilitated her becoming, I wouldn't say a good speaker, but certainly she was able to speak enough to be able to be understood, to be able to help others, and to be able to make friends, all of which is the most important criteria in a dementia unit. She did really well. So it can be done with expressive aphasia, certain types of expressive aphasia. It can be done, that communication can improve if the person themselves really puts in the effort, if they're in the environment where they get the encouragement and the training and the help, whether it's from staff, other dementia residents, friends or family. So I've written 2 books on these topics, The Resident's Voice and The Resident's Rise, both from a dementia unit, and both on Amazon and on my website, description below. Thank you so much for your recent subscriptions and for your likes and comments, and please pass on this link to others, those that are working with dementia and may benefit. Thank you.